I know I'm saying this laughing and people are probably like, you're a psychopath because you're not crying about it. But like, you know, sometimes when you're in a bad situation, you just gotta laugh about it. A heart rate of 25 BPM, if accurate, means either the person is extremely, it's in capitals, fit or needs a pacemaker. Hey guys, so I'm in a bit of a talking filmy mood. So while I'm in this mood, I thought I would do a motivation to recover video by sharing some of the terrible things that happen to you when you have anorexia or an eating disorder. I often need motivation to push myself through recovery because it's a very hard place to be in. So this could be good motivation. Okay, so let's start with physically. Physically, so your body loses so much weight. You lose pretty much all your body fat, and you'll lose a lot of muscle as well. So losing muscle, because when your body doesn't have enough glycogen coming in to use as fuel, it will break down your fat stores and use fat. And then when there's none of that left to use, it will break down your muscle, it'll break down proteins, so you'll lose muscle. So protein is what our body uses to repair muscle, bone, everything basically. So because that's being broken down, you'll also lose hair. I lost so much hair, and not only that, it just becomes really brittle and weak, and every time I brush my hair, half of it will come out as well. Like it would all fall out. I shed hair like a snake shedding its skin, like so much hair. Like one of my best friends, her dad was like, she told me like at training, like, oh, my dad knew you were over because there's hair everywhere in our house. Sorry. Nails, like my nails just broke and were so weak and brittle. Another physical aspect is just feeling really lethargic and dead and tired, and it is an effort to get out of bed because your body is like, I am dead, like everything I am doing is just to keep you alive. So while you're trying to do activity, oh my gosh, I'm dying. And if you're like me and you weren't eating enough and you were forcing yourself to train a lot, that wasn't fun. And training should be fun. Like I love training. Anyway, being cold all the time. Like, oh my God. Just the amount of situations I've been in where people are like, oh, it's warm, and I'm like, I am so cold. Like, or even situations where like I'm a nice temperature and everyone else is like dying of heat exhaustion because your body doesn't have enough body fat to regulate its temperature mechanisms and everything. You're just freezing all the time. Like body fat is something that keeps you warm. And obviously I'm not saying you need to be fat to have insulation or something. I'm saying like a normal amount so your body can do normal things like temperature regulation. I've mentioned before that for my work, I do stuff on commercials and in ads, and that commercials and ads are the same thing, on TV shows, just like in the background. And the amount of times, because sometimes they're filming in winter and we have to wear summer stuff, that I've literally like had nurses come on set because I've like almost like passed out or like almost had a hypothermic shock. One time I was on Dr. Doctor and we were like, I had to play these teenagers that had trespassed on a farm and like had a party, and were waking up the next morning, and it was middle of winter. We started filming at 5 a.m. in like party clothes, and I started shaking so much. I was dying. That nurses had to come and put heat packs on me and wrap me up and stuff. It was horrible. Like it was not fun. And then another time I was shooting late at night in the city, and it was the middle of the night shoot, and I was in a short skirt, and I started shaking so hard. And you know when like little kids get out of the pool and they're like, I was like that, but I couldn't help it. I was like, and I couldn't stop. Like it wasn't voluntary. I was just like, and I couldn't breathe. And then we got back to the trailer, and I couldn't think by that point. Like my brain wasn't working, and I lay on the ground like shaking and like going, and they were like, oh my god, like call the nurse. And then all the hair and makeup people wrapped me up and like got all the hair dryers and were holding on me, blowing me down. And I was just like so cold. I was just like, oh my god, the poor people in Titanic. Other physical things, oh yeah, just no sex drive or whatsoever. Sorry if that's TMI, but you don't get a period. I haven't had a period since my last HSC exam. I did the HSC in 2017, which is really bad for you. It literally, there's a lot of complications that come with that, like your bones breaking down. I really don't want to get a stress fracture again. The last time I had a stress fracture, I will mention, I had a period, I was healthy, I wasn't underweight. This was pre this. As someone who, you know, is a runner, I will say I couldn't run well anymore. Like, no speed. Obviously I had been injured, and I was training during injury, but it was cross training just to stay fit and not to completely waste away. But then I did lots of training while having an eating disorder and being underweight, and it was hard, and I just wasn't getting better. Like, I could not get faster. There was nothing of me to get faster. Like, if you want to, you know, recruit fast twitch muscle fibers, you need to have muscle to do that, not just be skin and bones. But also just like, my body was just falling apart on me. I'm just gonna Google it and see, because I'm trying to think of my own experiences, but maybe I'll get some inspiration off Google. Thinness. Thank you, Google. Dry hair, dry skin. Sensitivity to cold. It says slow heart rate. My heart rate, I have a Garmin. My heart rate, my resting heart rate, like, got very, very, very low. Obviously, but my heart rate was getting lower and lower as I was getting fitter, and I know I was getting fitter. This is when I was doing more training, and also because, so my coach was making me do distance stuff because I couldn't do fast stuff, because my body just had no power to weight ratio. Like, I just couldn't be powerful and fast because I was this tiny little stick. I'm saying it in past tense, like I haven't, like it's like in the past, but like I'm still recovering. So, but whatever, I'm just talking about like the worst of the worst. I was doing a lot more distance stuff. I was getting fitter, so I know I was getting fitter, and my heart rate was getting lower because I was getting fitter. Like, I was doing like 19-minute 5K, and it's not amazing or anything, but it's like decently fit. And yeah, so my resting heart rate got into the high 30s, or like bang on 40 pretty much. But then a lot of people were like, oh my god, you are dying of you're dying, it's because you're going to end up in hospital, it's because you're anorexic. But honestly, I think it was mainly from fitness, because your heart rate gets lower as you get fitter, because your heart gets stronger, because your heart is a muscle, and as your heart muscle hypertrophies, yeah, so your heart muscle gets bigger, and then your heart is stronger, so it doesn't need to beat as many times, because each contraction, your stroke volume increases, so every contraction more blood is ejected, so it doesn't need to contract as much to get as much blood around your body, because more is coming out in each beat. So obviously it's going to get, your resting heart rate will lower. But there were some times where I thought I was going to die, not like my heart rate. I know I'm saying this laughing, and people are probably like, you're a psychopath because you're not crying about it, but like, you know, sometimes when you're in a bad situation, you just gotta laugh about it. So I went camping with Ella and her family, and I was just in a bad mindset that weekend. I was not eating enough. I wasn't eating the worst I've ever eaten, though. Like, as in, when I say the worst, I mean the littlest, the most restricted. It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't a great mindset. And I remember in the night I felt really bad, like my body was dead, like literally dead, and my watch maybe was likely to be wrong, but my heart rate, it wasn't my resting heart rate because that's like an average, but my heart rate in the middle of the night was like, I'm not even kidding, it was like it has your heart rate like here, and it shows it changing. Like right now my heart rate's like 48. My heart rate, like in the night, every time I wake up in the night, I just like look at what my heart rate is. It was 21. I don't know if that's possible. I'll Google it. But I was literally just like, and it wasn't just like, oh, my watch is so off, it's really wrong. It was like, I felt like, oh my God, I'm gonna die right now. Like I felt like my body was shutting down. I felt like it was shutting down. Is a resting heart rate of 85 bad? Yes, that's unfit AF. Can your heart rate get to 21 and you're alive? English, good. A heart rate of 25 BPM, if accurate, means either the person is extremely, it's in capitals, fit, or needs a pacemaker. When I say extremely fit, I mean Lance Armstrong fit. Okay, first of all, if you know your shit, Lance Armstrong's heart rate was like 38 or something. So no, 25 is not being extremely fit. I think that's like you're dying. Regardless, 25 is too slow to maintain life. Most people pass out landing flat on their face and wake up in the ER with a broken nose. Cool. Okay, I'm going to now talk about the mental or psychological, the mental bits of it. I don't want to go into this too much, honestly, but like these are just some things that made having an eating disorder so horrible, and is making things so much better coming out of that. Having an eating disorder is mentally consuming. Like everything you do is, your mind is just like fighting you, and it's like not nice. It's like telling you mean things. Everything you do is really like you're constantly at war with yourself, not just for eating or exercising, but everything, like the time of day it is, or like socializing. It's your mind is like panicking and constantly like feeling bad about yourself all the time, and just freaking out like at the time you're eating, at what you're eating, at what's in foods. I couldn't go and eat out with a friend because I didn't know every ingredient on the menu. At my worst point, I couldn't eat without weighing what I was eating first because I needed to know exactly how many calories it was. I couldn't miss a day of overtraining. I'm not even going to call it training, overtraining and exercising, because it's not like you're getting something out of it at that point. It's not like you're getting fitter. It's honestly just burning more calories and breaking you down further. I couldn't not do that for a day. I couldn't not go to the gym for a day. I couldn't not swim a K. I couldn't, I would freak out or like feel horrible and hate myself if I didn't go to training, even though I felt horrible, or if I got sick or something was going wrong. Like if my mum was making dinner, I would find a way to not have to eat at the same time everyone was eating, like not being able to sit with your family and eat because you're like scared to eat. That's so horrible. Or even just like, your meal's going to be like predominantly vegetables and people are going to like make comments or even just like see you eat. Having really terrible I don't want to say esteem, but like self everything, like view of yourself, or like how you feel about yourself, a terrible relationship with yourself, like not wanting to, like I remember when I was younger, I was like, I wouldn't want to miss something. Like if friends were planning something, I would be like, oh my god, like FOMO, like not even FOMO, just like I really want to go hang out with my friends. Or like when you're little and you have to ask your parents to go out, when you're like 13, 12 and you'd like cry if your parents were going to let you, and you'd be like so excited when they said yes. I was the opposite of that person. I was like finding ways to not go out. I would be like freak out if a social thing was happening. I'd be like finding an excuse as best as I can. Mentally feeling empty and lonely, and like there's no point in anything. Like why am I alive? Like I like just complete beyond sadness, but like emptiness, like nothingness, like sadness, but also nothing. And the amount of times I'd be driving to training and I'd be like, I don't want to sound really depressing, but in the car, I'd literally be like, I hope I get in a car crash and wake up. I was just like, I really just want to, this sounds so bad and I feel terrible for saying it because it's ungrateful for my life and for living and for every opportunity that I have, but I didn't want to feel like that. But I was in the car to training and I used to just think, I hope I get in a car crash, I hope I get in a coma, and I hope I wake up and I feel different and I feel better and I'm not feeling like this anymore. But like, you can't just be put in a coma and wake up and depression and eating disorders are gone. You have to fight that yourself. So this hopefully was motivation to fight that, and I'm really sorry if it was depressing and triggering in any way, but honestly this is meant to be the opposite. This is just trying to say how bad life is when you have an eating disorder, and trust me, it's not like that when you don't. Like, just going out with your friends and buying food with your friends and like going out with your friends and enjoying it and not freaking out about food or the time you're going to eat, or if you you know, feel bad for not being in the gym for hours instead. It's awesome. Like, and you just gotta think a lot of the time, like, nobody cares. Like, or even like in 5 years, like, I don't know, say you feel like terrible if you miss a day in the gym. Think to yourself, okay, in 5 years from now, will it matter? Like, this day of smashing myself in the gym, will it matter? Like, no. If you miss a whole week of training and restricting yourself, how is that going to matter in 5 years? Like, or 1 year? Honestly, it'll probably benefit you because you're going to be healthier and more recovered, and then in a year from now you'll be happy and not in this place. I'm getting hungry and I want to go make my lunch, so I'm done. Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this was a good video overall, and helpful to be like, let's not be like this anymore. We don't have to be in this place. So thank you guys for watching.